Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. We, as you can see, are in the Mvskoke Media newsroom, our subset today, because there's a lot of things we are going to discuss and talk about. A lot of news going on in and around the Mvskoke Creek Nation. That's why I have brought in Miss Jessica McBride. She is the media coordinator here for us at Mvskoke Media. Jessica, thanks so much for being with me today on the program.
Thanks for having me.
You're right. Well, we got a lot of things to get into, as we said. There's a lot of things out there making news headlines, a lot of material on MvskokeMedia.com. We're so proud of the new website, all of the things that it's doing for the citizens, providing the pertinent information that they need, not only in a timely fashion, but in a correct, accurate, really thought out process. And I think we're seeing the benefits of that. More and more citizens are becoming involved in their government. They're wanting to look for the coverage, and we really feel that responsibility to be able to provide it. Jessica, just on a different note, it's been sort of a busy time for us here at Mvskoke Media recently, and I hadn't had a chance to talk much with the audience out there, but we attended the Native American Journalists Association annual conference. But this year, what was neat about that was it was also tied in with the Society of Professional Journalists conference as well. So we were down in New Orleans for that. We got a nice little reception for our Elias Boudinot Free Press Award down there.
Absolutely, and it was really a privilege to be able to accept that with so few Native American tribal governments, having free press.
And what was interesting to me too down there that I would note is that all of the current tribal media departments that do not have free press legislation coming to us and asking us, hey, we would love to do this. What was it like? How did you do, things like that, and asking us about the process, which was just encouraging to see that there are so many people out there working in tribal media that want to take on the responsibility of covering their tribes, good, bad, in whatever, in between, what's going on, and letting the citizens know exactly what's happening within their tribal nation. So that was neat. And also the people that aren't even tribal, just those folks there for the SPJ part of the conference, really interested in what we were presenting, what we had to say about our experience. And it was just a wonderful experience down there. All in all, got to see a few sites and stuff like that. So we're back, we're rejuvenated, and we certainly have lots to get to, lots of work to do. So we're going to be talking about lots of things, so stay with us. We're about to take the first break, but I do want to get it on everyone's radar. As I mentioned, MvskokeMedia.com, we'll have that up for reference throughout this episode as we go through some of the things that we're covering. But definitely when you work in a media department for a tribal nation, and that tribal nation is currently in the midst of an impeachment process for its principal chief, that leads. So we will be talking about that, where we're at as far as our coverage of that, lots of things to get to there. Also some other things that have been not an afterthought, but have been behind that as far as in the relevance and the importance to where we want to get it to the people here in the last few weeks. So we're going to do a little bit of catch up, also get you up to speed on all of that news that I mentioned that's making our front page really our breaking news right now. So stay with Jessica McBride and I, Jason Salzman, here as we will be taking you through all of those topics, all of those reports that we have currently on MvskokeMedia.com. We're going to take our first break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching Native News Today.
It's more than just an associate degree. It's a life-changing experience.
You'll see a lot of cultural features here on the campus. You'll see a symbol of the mound, which goes back to the history of Mvskoke people as being in that Mississippian time period, that mound building society. That really welcomes our students whenever they first get here.
The college in itself is beyond the building, is the people.
They're passionate, very passionate about what they teach, and it shows whenever they're teaching.
The instructors and the administration, they really believe in their students here.
After a couple classes, I began to notice that it kind of felt as if I were returning back to something that has been lost for like a long time. As I learned more about the history of my people, to discover that there were very many great people that did a lot of good things for their people, for their nations, and that those people were American Indian and Native American, it kind of brings out a sense of pride that was not really there before.
There is a future for our people.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Mvskoke Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. Give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
In reintegration.
It's for Creek. It's for the indigenous people in our area.
Get your heart rate going, your blood flowing, and break a little sweat.
Everybody ready? All right, here we go.
Creek Fit is a exercise program that was implemented for the tribe. It was beginning just to spark interest and to retain the group. We was shooting for a small group in the beginning. Now we've grown into a monster.
It provided me an open door to get back into shape and to start taking my health serious. The past 3 years, I was out of commission, didn't work out, so a lot of medical surgeries and stuff. So when Creek Fit came about, it was a perfect opportunity to get me back into the gym. The things we do, you just won't regularly do that if you go to the gym. It pushes you to go harder, to do more.
Most of it is bodyweight exercises. We've added med balls for the weight component to add a little bit more variation to what we do here. Most of all, we just maintain motivation. It's a very community-oriented program.
I was really proud. When I dropped 10 pounds, I lost about 5 inches off my waist.
People have lost weight, lost inches, improved lives. There's been several testimonies saying they've reversed their type 2 diabetes, which is a huge goal of mine. People who are blood sugars come down, people are off their medicines. People come in on the weekly that come in, they're new, they want to try the class out, they don't like it, they love it. If you don't like one class, you'll love the other. If you don't like that class, come to the next one. I promise you'll have a great experience.
It's just so rewarding, and overall it makes you feel better as a person. You're more confident.
The cool thing to see is people are believing in themselves. They've established some inner confidence. That's kind of what goes hand in hand with exercise, and glad to be a part of it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Jason Salzman along with Jessica McBride here in the Mvskoke Media Newsroom. And Jessica, as I said before the break, our very top story here, not surprisingly, is the ongoing impeachment process of Principal Chief James Floyd by a citizen that's been filed in district court. Brenda Golden, she has till the December 6th at 5 p.m. to get enough signatures. I believe the signatures was 3,000.
The number is in the story on the website, so if you go to MvskokeMedia.com, you'll be able to see that information, but she does have to get a certain percentage of the voters, and you can see the petition, see what it outlines and everything. We've got a copy of that posted to the website, and it also has her contact information as well, so if that's something that you are interested in and need more information, you can contact her.
Yes.
And she is in the works for passing around the petition to get signatures. Now, in order to sign the petition, you do have to be a Creek citizen and you do have to be a registered voter. That's part of the petition process, and they will be verifying those signatures when she turns in the document.
Top story on our website right now, of course, and if you go on the website, you click on, you can see the court document there, and Jessica, you actually have the byline on this one. This is a wonderful job you did on this here, because I want to point out to citizens, there is so much to this story, and it's all located in this one-stop shop here, where you click on the heading on the website. So we have the petition on file here. We have Title 31 in the MCN code. We have a Constitution link. We have the legislation, extended cabinet commissions. The chief-elect discusses initial outlook. Title 22, Title 16, the case that's referenced in this thing. There is so much to this story here that's included on the website that you can use as a reference. It's like a small library on this issue.
Right, and that's part of the reason for that is the petition outlines some allegations, including treason.
Right.
One of the allegations for treason was disregarding the Constitution in the nomination for cabinet members and having them serve for a longer time period than what the Constitution allows. So what I wanted to do is get both sides of the story. We do have this side for Brenda Golden and what the petition says, what she outlines and her concerns and the allegations from her. We do have a response from Principal Chief James Floyd regarding the allegations, and the Public Relations Director, Jabon Gouge, actually references code in their response, and so one of the things I wanted to do was give citizens an opportunity to read what the code says, read what the allegations are, and to decide for themselves.
Yeah, that's the best way. Go to the Constitution. Whenever there's claims or issues with maybe a breach of constitutional law, take a look at the Constitution, says what it says right there in black and white. So it's all there for you as a reference. Now, in this process, we have now reached a point where there was a citizen-led meeting at the Mound building, which was attended by not only, of course, the citizens, but National Council members. You had the Speaker of the National Council, Lucian Tiger, in attendance, as well as Principal Chief James Floyd. And at this meeting, presented by Lucian Tiger, National Council member, sort of as a presentation from the council itself, was a letter. Now, we have the letter here. We also have the letter on the website that you can reference from the story. Now, this letter is from James Pratt, the controller in 2015. He has since passed on, but this letter is dated January 30th as an inter-office memo to former Principal Chief George Tiger. CC'd in is Patricia Killian, the assistant controller at that time, regarding the financial status of the tribe. We have reached out to Miss Killian, have not received word back from her yet, but trying to verify this letter. That's what we're doing as Mvskoke Media right now, trying to verify this letter. So we take a look at some of the things in this letter. Mr. Pratt, if in fact he did send this, definitely lays out his concerns for our financial status.
Yes, and one of the other important things to note is this letter was passed out at a citizen-led meeting, and the meeting was called due to the health layoffs and concerns for the health department and things like that. You know, we've heard for several months now that health is in a deficit, and Principal Chief James Floyd said as a result of the deficit that they did have to cut 123 employee jobs, and they had to move around several other employees to other positions in the health department. And so in response to that, and at this meeting, Speaker Lucian Tiger made this letter available to citizens, and we've made it available on the website too, so you can go to our website and look at it and read it for yourself. But there's Mr. Pratt outlines some concerns if this letter is in fact factual. We're still trying to authenticate it through the principal chief's office, through the National Council, and then through individuals named on the letter. So I think it outlines some of the issues that have come up in recently with the health crisis and with the financial status of the nation. And I believe you have a couple of items noted.
Yeah, he not only relays his concerns, he also relays a couple of possible fixes that he thinks, is something that we could pursue. One of which here he says, even at that, there'll be a need to have a mandatory reduction of budget requests in the area of 5 to 10%. Now, people's ears will probably go up on that because we did that as the Mvskoke Creek Nation this last year. Chief Floyd sent out from his office a mandate of a 10% wide cut budget to all the departments. We did it ourselves here at Mvskoke Media and many other departments, and it was something that everyone had to work on when we were getting ready for budget meetings and things like that. So that is something that Mr. Pratt, obviously in this letter, as we said, still waiting to authenticate it, but if it is actually this is an authentic letter that was sent. There were things outlined that could possibly fix. He also references, hey, we got Margaritaville that's going to get going here too pretty soon. It may be an issue that just takes a little bit of time to fix. It is fixable maybe, but he definitely had his concerns. And if the letter is, as we said, authentic, dated on January 30th of 2015, so that would have put this on the radar of these officials long before they said that they had any wind or knew of any kind of deficit that was going on.
Right, and one of the other things that he talks about in this letter is the reallocation of distribution of gaming revenue. Back when the National Council and Principal Chief George Tiger were kind of on a standstill when during the budget hearings for fiscal year 2016, not 2017, this past year, 2016. This would have been prior to the election. One of the things that was recommended by the administration was reallocating funds from gaming revenue.
Right.
Citizens need to understand that a certain percentage of the funds go into the permanent fund and a certain percentage of the gaming funds do go to fund tribal programs and departments and services. And so what they were trying to do was, it's in the code, the percentages that have to go to tribal programs and what goes to the permanent fund, and they were trying to raise the amount of gaming funds that go to tribal programs in order to meet the gap between funding and the funding source.
Yes, and I think another thing in this letter that to me jumps out is the cause and effect is the fact that two areas of MCN have consistently increased funding requests and created new programs at a level that the generation of revenues has not been able to match. In essence, during that time, Mr. Pratt is alleging here that we were, in a sense, outgrowing ourselves and not being able to fit the bill for that growth. And we also heard from auditors of acquisitions, things like that, being something that got us in a little bit of a bind and in a pinch in their estimation, and in Mr. Pratt's estimation. Those two things line up. I thought that was important. I thought when I saw that and read that in this letter, I said that matches up with what the auditors were saying as well too. So this letter is, as we said, we're still trying to authenticate this letter, get exactly where it came from. But this letter is, for right now, the only resource we have. And this letter was passed out from our National Council to citizens. So that's why we're on such a we place such importance on authenticating it. We want to. This is a serious document that's been given out by the council in a public forum. So that was the that was for us. That was what we were switching to. So we have all of that as a reference on MvskokeMedia.com. You can stay with us there. We will have that as we continue to work on it. Switching over to something else that we had covered, made sort of headlines and had people interested on our website, was Floyd Jones, the former community development director here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, who has a warrant out for his arrest from Light Horse Police about taking some tribal funds, using tribal equipment, things like that unlawfully. Mr. Jones is still has still not been brought in, so he is still out. I don't know where, but the people, there are people that would like to see this matter resolved. There are people that are in fact worried about Mr. Jones's whereabouts. So if anyone knows about the whereabouts or anything of Floyd Jones or needs to contact Light Horse Police, you can do that at 918-732-7800, and we will continue to follow this story as well as developments come in, and we continue to communicate with our Light Horse Police Department, which I might add has been very cooperative with us and helped us on this case be able to cover it for the nation. So actually covering it for the nation, you do that pretty well, and you've actually an award winner here. So you, as well as our newest reporter, Heidi Carranzo, and Devaney Luxinger, who helps us with Native News Today here, you all got a chance to go over and visit with our great family violence prevention program. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Because of that, there's always a big purple out, gathering each year. And this year's theme was Native Love Is. And you guys got a chance to go over and visit them. We always love to cover that, but give us a few of your takeaways from this year's event.
Well, it was a different event. In the past we've seen speakers, survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault at these events, and this was a little bit different. They actually did a test, and the test was kind of difficult, actually. It was the myths of what people think about domestic violence, and so you took a pre-test, you went through the event, and you asked questions of Light Horse, of the sexual assault nurse examiners, of the Attorney General's office, to bust these myths, and then you answered the questions again after the event, and it helps to educate individuals on these issues.
And some of the things coming up in the U.S. election have forced us to take a look at what isn't sexual assault. These things that some people claim to be, I was just joking. No, that's actually verbal sexual assault. So, for them, the Family Violence Prevention Program, an opportunity to educate, teach, that's what they do all year round. And this event is their big one each year. And we were glad to be able to go over and cover it once again. And we have it for you here now on Native News Today.
So today we're having our tailgate event. This is the second time that we've done a tailgate to try to bring people together and provide education and awareness, information about domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so we felt like this was a great way to get people out, to be able to fellowship, provide information, and also have fun too. We want our events to provide opportunities for people to increase their knowledge and awareness of domestic violence. And so we realize we always try to change it up so that people stay interested and engaged with the work that we're doing and the messages that we're trying to send. And so a lot of times we'll feature events where we have survivors that are speaking. And obviously those stories, those experiences are really traumatic, not only for the survivor, but for people that come to interact and, hear those stories. And so we want to include, and while those stories are important, they're critical, there's so much value there in terms of learning and educating our citizens, we also want to provide opportunities that people can come, get information, and have fun too. We don't want people leaving feeling hopeless or helpless. We want to be able to provide hope and for people to know that there is support out there, there's services, and anyone that's in an abusive relationship, or if they have a family or a friend that is in an abusive relationship, we want them to know that there is help, that there's support out there and available, and that they're not alone. I want citizens to know that our program is confidential, that we are not judgmental, that we are there to be a listening ear, to provide support, options. To individuals that are in an abusive relationship that are looking at how they can either get out of that relationship or be safe, increase their safety. And most of all, I think I want our citizens to know that while domestic violence is very prevalent amongst our people, it is not our tradition. This is not behavior that's acceptable, that's appropriate. And so, this is not us. Domestic violence has no place in our culture, and we forget that because we are so inundated with it. And so we need those reminders that our culture, our traditions are founded on love and respect and protection and support for one another. We continue to see our numbers increase. And while that would often be viewed as negative or something bad, it's not. We see that as good, that we're making progress, that people know who to call so that they can get help, because just because people aren't calling doesn't mean that domestic violence isn't occurring. It just means people aren't reaching out for services. And so our increased numbers is a positive thing.
All right, thanks again to the Family Violence Prevention Program, Jessica, Honey, and Devaney, for going and getting that for us and being able to provide it for the people here. And know everybody had a great time out at that, and really, walk away thinking about things in a different way. And that's really what they want you to do, forced to have it on your consciousness and be able to be aware. Mm-hmm. And that's why they call these awareness months and things like that. So great job there, guys, on that story. Jessica, moving along, I want to make sure everybody out there knows we have such a reference here at Mvskoke Media with all of the things we're doing, not only the television program here, but our radio show with Gary Fife each and every Wednesday on AM 1240 in Alt-Malgi. Also our paper, the Mvskoke Nation News award-winning publication, and then also our website. But one of the other things is our social media sites and our YouTube online channel. One of the best things we have right now on our online YouTube channel is if you go to our channel, the face page there, you can go to playlists, and we have a health crisis playlist loaded up. It has everything, Jessica, from March to now that we have produced on this health crisis, from the very first time we ever mentioned it on air to now. So it's a wonderful reference, and I just want to make sure the people out there with that online access can go there and see the playlist.
Right, and it's great material because we've been following this story for a long time.
Yeah, and I remember when we were in the office and we heard first, you heard the two big words, health deficit. Mm-hmm. We immediately went to work. It's all there. All the work is there. Tireless amounts of research and uploading and things like that. So we want you to visit it and know all about the health system. Listen to all those interviews. Well, I want to thank Jessica again for being with me here from the Mvskoke Media Newsroom. We'll see you guys next week right here on Native News Today.